What's up, guys? It's Jam1 from Jam1TCG coming at you guys with another totally awesome video. And today, this is round 9 of the Crush Card Cup. The Crush Card Cup is Cimoooooooo's online tournament that has been going on for a few weeks now. And this is round 9 as I film this here. So let's see what happens today. He won a dice roll, and he decides to go first. He decides for me to go first, which should have been a dead giveaway. He's playing Mekk Knight Invoked, okay, which is a very, very old version of an Invoked variant, which was seeing a lot of success first, which a lot of people decided, wow, because this version is so successful. I'm gonna pause here. Since that version is so successful, why don't we just start splashing Invoke into other strategies? Which is why you guys now see things like Shadar Invoked and Eldritch Invoked, things like that. It's because both Mekk Knights in Invoke engines are really good to splash together. So let's go ahead and play here. So this is also me in the process of changing my deck around because, like I said, I had to adjust to the meta. So you guys see my opening hand is okay. I was thinking like, okay, I'm about to face Emancipators or something. So this would have been a nice hand to stop Emancipators because I expected Emancipators or Eldritch. One of these are good enough. The Mystic Mine isn't going to stop Eldritch, but this hand would be more than enough to stop Emancipators before they go off. So I was thinking like, all right, I'm going to set this up. And then he surprises me here. This isn't the surprise because, okay, we see Invocation or the Meltdown. So I'm like, okay, so what? He must be playing the Invoked Eldritch is what I was thinking. So I just deny him right there. I'm like, no, I don't want you to get that search off. So I just go ahead and banish it, which I was thinking maybe I should have saved this if this was a Golden Boy. I was like, maybe, but no, I just didn't want him to get Alistair advantage here. Which, to be honest, I think I probably should have just held it and then, like, demised his fusion. Flip Mystic Mine on whatever fusion he summoned. Unless it was Macabre, so I guess that's why I did it. Yeah, it makes more sense. So he sets a column. Now, when he asked me, you see here in the chat, he says, set anything. When he did that, I'm like, oh, this must be something else. Because usually they ask that because they don't want you to, like, before they special summon their Mekk Knight, Mekk Knights come out like this. If you have a column where there's two, okay, I'm going to pause here too because you guys are about to see this terrible misplay here. So if there's a column of more than 2 cards, as you guys are reading it right there, they can just special summon them from their hand. All of the Mekk Knights have this effect, right? So what players will do is they create their own columns. They'll go second because they want you as their opponent to set up cards like I did. And then what they'll do is they'll place a card, they'll set a card, usually an invocation of some sorts, or a random spell, a go second type spell. They'll set it in a column, then they'll bring out their Mekk Knight, okay? And then their Mekk Knight has effects. This is where I messed up right here, guys. So watch this misplay. This is so bad. On his summon, I decide to go ahead and flip Mystic Mine. The demise of the land. So when they special summon, I can bring out Mystic Mine. You guys see me do this before. This would have been good, but the reason why it's bad, you guys are probably thinking like, whoa, because right there you see he says chain purple. All of these Mekk Knights have quick effects, and because they have quick effects, they can basically remove themselves from the field, a lot of them, and then they do something. So in this case, purple will let you, says target a Mekk Knight you control, banish it until the standby phase, and then if you do, you can add one. So this is their Stratos. Purple is their Stratos. So this is the misplay. Not to like make excuses, but guys, I was super tired playing this match. You'll see this match is not like me playing the best. And this is, like I said, king of misplays here. This is what happens when I don't read and when I get so tired or whatever and I'm not focusing. I just start doing dumb stuff. So he goes ahead and he tributes it off, which is good for him because now Mystic Mine resolves and he doesn't have any monsters on the field. So, and he adds the blue sky to his hand. You guys can read blue sky right there. But that basically, that's what they do. That's what the Mekk Knights do. And then here it is, a random card that he sets Spot of Desires. So now he goes super plus here. And I'm like, oh man, I messed up. If I would have just held that till he summoned like an Alistair or something else, or one of the Mekk Knights that can't banish itself, then Mystic Mine would have stuck. So he banishes and he draws. And then guess what, guys? Remember, in phase, if we had the same amount of monsters, Mystic Mine self-destructs. So this was bad. Now I'm down in card advantage here because I decided to be dumb and misplay. I know stuff happens, but like I need to just read more and focus more. That's my real problem. Sometimes like I won't read things, or like I'll just be impulsive and just good card, yeah, I got him, and then I'm just like, oh wait, that was a really bad play. And obviously it's a tournament, so you can't take stuff back. So yeah, I go ahead and I set here in the same column, which this is also really kind of bad. Sure, I can negate whatever card that is with my infinite impermanence, but remember, by setting up cards in the same column, that creates a column for them. So here on the standby phase, Purple Nightfall comes back because that's just like effect. It returns to the field on a standby phase. And here we're going to see he now, like I said, the misplay. I set up a column for him to just bring out the blue. I should have made it harder for him to do that. Like he would have had to, if I would have placed the card somewhere over here, he would have had to set another card to do it. And then you see me reading a lot. This is my first time seeing Mekk Knights in like forever. So I was like, oh man, I forgot what they do. And then I'm like reading through it. I'm like, okay, so he gets more pluses. Great, that's fine. So I go ahead and I try to chain here to stop him from getting the plus. And then you guys are gonna see he's thinking whether or not he want to chain it or not. He decides to chain purple instead to banish it because it says any Mekk Knight on the field, right? So he banished it to take it out of the column. And then this is a ruling that I didn't know that we figured out. Basically, infinite impermanence has to negate in order to negate. It has to negate an effect, the monster effect, in order to negate that column. I didn't know that. I thought as long as it was flipped, it works because of the text. But this is another example of how Yu-Gi-Oh is complicated, and sometimes rulings don't always work how you think. So you're gonna see us like looking and trying to resolve it or whatever. But he's gonna ask whether or not he can use it later. But here he goes setting up another column. So he sets a card, like I said, to get 2 cards in a column. Then he can special summon this one. People call this going move man because basically it lets you like shift what column your cards are in, Mekk Knight cards, as you guys are reading. So then he right here, he goes and he hard overlays into a Dingirsu. I was like, oh wow, what is this even? I was really shocked here. So then he uses the Dingirsu's second effect to send a card on the field to the graveyard right there. And then I'm thinking whether or not I want to activate this Compulse on the Dingirsu because he's going to send my only card left. I might as well just chain it and get something out of it, right? At this point, Compulse will knock Dingirsu back to the extra deck. So yeah, I decided to chain it here. As you guys see, I'm running so low on resources. It's like really bad here. He has like his hand is loaded, his field is loaded. I go ahead and get rid of the Dingirsu here. And then I chain my Paleo to try to get some type of advantage because I don't want him to OTK me. This time I kind of don't misplay a little bit. I decide to put it here so like he doesn't have a column, but it's still bad. Like then he has an Alistair too, which he probably drew off of the desires, and then he gets an invocation, and I'm just like, oh wow, he's just going super plus, and I can't stop him. So he goes ahead and he does the whole Omirage into Gardner type play thing. I believe that's what he's gonna do. Oh, this is smart too. He created his own column here. Isn't that sweet how he did that? He made the Omirage in his set card to make another column for his other Mekk Knight. That was really cool. But it was like, wow, he had another purple in hand too. And then he goes Hugo Shokun invocation, the fusion summon into something stupid. I believe it's the Mekuba probably. Let me see what he did. Yeah, of course. So he goes into the Mekuba. So I'm like, all right, so now he's got a big fusion. What's cool about this deck, though, is like they get really big monsters. Like you see the Mekk Knights, look at that. 25 attack. This one has 24. The other one had 2,000. They're huge. And they're free bodies basically on the field. So he goes ahead and he attacks my Dinomischus, and then Dinomischus dies because it's too weak, obviously. But I just put it there to cushion something. I didn't want to put it in defense mode because he would have Purgatrioed me. That's why I didn't put it in defense mode. If you guys are wondering why didn't I put it in defense mode, because if he would have Purgatrioed, I would have took way more damage. Purgatrio is the piercer of the invoke. If you guys aren't familiar, it's the fire one. So there I take more damage here. And then now, this is the ruling, guys. You're gonna see what I was talking about the impermanence being in the same column. He's asking since the impermanence misses target, can I use that zone? And at first I was like, no, you can't. I don't believe so because I flipped it. But apparently it was ruled that you can because if infinite impermanence, I'll let you guys read the text here. If infinite impermanence does not negate the card that you were trying to negate, then it doesn't fully resolve. Therefore, it doesn't block the column. The part where it says right there that the column cannot be activated, or it negates the same column activation. So basically, I'm gonna fast forward it so you guys can see. It was ruled that like we found it, we Googled it, and all this other stuff, and we found out okay, fine. So he's right, and so basically because it works now, it never negated this card. You're gonna see a super polymerization right here. He can use this card, guys. So right there, after all of our ruling talk, I say whatever, it's fine. I'm tired. Maybe you're right. I guess we're both right. Whatever. He goes ahead and he super Hugo Shogun. And then now he goes into Captain Planet. I call this guy Captain Planet because he has literally every, if you read it, it has every attribute. And then he goes ahead and he drops the Alistair and damage to basically boost it by 1,000. So that's exact game right there. So yeah, so he made it with the extra deck monster and one of his invoked monsters. It has all of these attributes, blah, blah, blah. And then he drops the Alistair and damage calculation to gain 1,000. So it's at 4,200. And then that's basically game. Because I take all of that damage, right? So I just go to the next game. Now, I think I don't. This is like I said, I was changing my deck around to basically counter Emancipators and Eldritch. I don't know if I make him go first or second. You probably should make him go second. First, because they don't like to go first. But I think I decided to go first because remember I told you guys the potency in my deck is that usually if I go first, I win. So what I was thinking here, I remember too, I sided in a lot of like spell and trap card removal. The reason why is because the minute they set, you saw him in the first game as like just said okay. If you have like an Oleanoids like or a Mystical Space Typhoon or something to destroy their spell and trap cards, the minute they set, you just basically pop the set and then it destroys their column, then they can't bring out the Mekk Knights. That was my logic of going first. I was thinking like, okay, if I can just set up my spell and trap card removal, my dusters and all that stuff, I'll just blow away his columns and then deny him playing. It didn't work like that. As you see my hand, kind of, I don't have any removal here. And I'm like, oh man, this isn't what I wanted. So going first kind of backfired on me a little bit here. So I go ahead and I do my swap frog play. Okay, this hurt so much, guys. I was like, oh my goodness, seriously? So basically, I went and I did Swap Frogs effect. You discard water, special summon it, and then dump a card, right? So I was going to make Toad or Coral or something, right? I was probably going to do Toad just to be safe. And he drops a Ghost Ogre on me. Ghost Ogre basically self-destructs whatever card activates on the field. And yeah, so he destroys my Swap Frog. And then because he did this, it messed up the math of the number of frogs I could have on the field. So you guys see my graveyard now. I send a Ronin, but now that means I can only have one frog on the field, which means I can't make it totally awesome with only one card. I need two cards. So I was like, wow, why is he even playing Ogre? I'm like, Ogre don't even seem like a good card this format. But you know what? The Mekk Knight Invoked engine has so much space. They can run a lot more hand traps than most decks can because they have two separate engines, but the engines are only like about 5 to 6 cards each. So that gives them room to run so much more stuff. So as you see here, I'm like, wow, this going first did not work in my favor here. So I go ahead and I set a scapegoat and I set impermanence in this middle zone, which again, in a way, this is questionable. Maybe I shouldn't have even said anything because I gave him columns. Maybe if I just held the impermanence in my hand, I could have stopped at Alistair or something and then just like waited for him to create his own columns. So he goes invocation, or sorry, I always say that because meltdown gets you the invocation basically because you get Alistair first, then you get invocation. So he goes for trying to get Alistair. So I assume he didn't have the Alistair. So this was like, okay, this impermanence will look nice right now, then, because I can just stop his Alistair from getting him invocation. So he goes ahead and he creates his own column again. Like I said, you'll see them do that. That's why he said, is that okay? And then if, like I said, logic-wise, if I had, like, my destruction, I would have just popped it right there. But I didn't open like that. So he goes ahead and he summons the purple. The Stratos, basically. And then he summons the Alistair. And I'm like, no, I'm going to just deny you with that Alistair right there. I'm going to flip the impermanence on him because I didn't want him to basically try to plus. So yeah, so now this is still looking dire because all I have is Scapegoat. And again, if he goes into Purgatrio, I will basically die because Purgatrio pierces defense mode monsters. You'll still take damage. So I didn't want to flip Scapegoat until it's absolutely necessary. So he goes ahead and uses Purple's effect. And I'm rereading Purple here because I wasn't 100% sure. I was like, should I flip Scapegoat now? And I'm like, no, that doesn't do anything because then it'll just still basically make him have a column. So I'm just like, nah, it's just no reason to. And again, I didn't want him to go into Almirage and maybe he hard drew Invocation. I didn't want him to go Almirage and then pierce me to death with Purgatrio. So he goes and he gets the blue. And I'm thinking on the ad because I'm still thinking like, do I want to flip the Scapegoat? It's literally going to be the only thing that saves me. Maybe I should wait till he goes to battle, but maybe I can deny him some column space if I just flip it now because I can summon the Scapegoats like here, 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 and here, and make sure that he doesn't have a column. But I was just like, no, that's bad, man. Just think he gonna have it. He got Invocation. I know he do. He's just gonna flip it and make Purgatrio. Don't do it. So I'm like reading the double check. And again, like I said, I was tired. It was probably like 3 a.m. or something like that when I was playing this game. And I was just like, okay, rereading. I was really expecting the autopilot play Emancipators or Eldritch. So having to read cards that I haven't seen in a while was just like, oh, this sucks. So it was a good meta call for him to switch to this deck. Most likely he did this. And you're gonna see I'm just verifying what I read there. And then he goes ahead and he summons it to the column. So yeah, I didn't decide to flip it because the same reason I was thinking Purgatrio, Purgatrio, Purgatrio. If he Purgatrios me, it's over. So just wait, just be patient, and maybe if I survive the battle phase, then I can do my combo with Scapegoat that you guys see me do before, making Borosword and all that. So there he goes into the Omirage, right? I'm like, okay, he must have an invocation. Why would he continue to do this? Or maybe he just wanted to get it in graveyard. So he goes Omirage, then he Link summons, and I'm like, oh no, the Alistair Link. Oh man, I haven't seen this in a while. Let me read this too. All these dang on cards I gotta keep reading. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is like looking really awful here. So the Alistair fusion, basically two different attributes, and you guys are reading it right there. He can, anytime he fusion summon, he gets invocation. So I'm like, there's the access to the invocation. And there it is. I was like, I knew he had it. I knew he had it. Like I said in game one, they usually set their own invocations, dead invocations, until they can do stuff. So if I would have flipped Purgatrio, if I would have flipped Scapegoat, I would have got Purgatrio. So that's why I didn't do it, man. So he goes ahead and he makes Mekkuba instead. So him making Mekkuba is a little bit better than Purgatrio because I'm like, okay, well, he can't kill me. But then I'm thinking like, okay, he'll probably just have a spell in hand to negate with Mekkuba either way. So either way, it's not looking good here. I'm like, I don't think this Scapegoat is going to be enough to save me from losing. I can't do a Joey Wheeler and right before the attack happens. And now he forces it. He goes ahead and he Cyclones it. I'm like, I can't do a Joey Wheeler, force him to attack me, and then be like, haha, Scapegoat, I'm still alive. Nope. Looks like I have to use it right here and now, and I didn't want to. I was waiting for battle phase, but he goes ahead and he targets it. And then, oh, this was the interaction. I actually could not I forgot about this here. So while Meltdown is on the field, he chained this is a pro play on him. He chained his Cyclone to the summon of Mekkuba, which means that while keep calling it invocation. Meltdown, 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 magical meltdown. While it's on the field, I cannot respond to a fusion summon that he makes. So basically, he chained it in the window of that activation. Therefore, I couldn't even flip Scapegoat because he denied me from being able to activate cards on the summon of Mekkuba. Which again, I was just like, I knew that, but like I was also just like, again, super tired. I'm just like, man, whatever. What is this game anymore? So he goes ahead and he just starts styling on me now. He has another invocation and he just goes ahead and he goes into, I think, Purgatrio here. Yeah. So this is Purgatrio. If you guys don't know, like I said, if you read his effect, you'll see why it was a bad idea for me to flip Scapegoat earlier, which is why I didn't. Like he can just pierce through everything. And he would have been really big too. And if he would have dropped Alistair with that, that would have been over, game over right there. But as you see, he starts to just keep snowballing. Alistair Fusion gets him more stuff, or sorry, Alistair Link gets him more stuff, and then he has a Purgatrio, and he has a Mekuba. All I have is one card in hand. He makes another freaking invocation. At this rate, I think he's getting a little greedy, though, because if I had a Nibiru, he would have gotten Nibiru, like, straight up. But I didn't have Nibiru, so it's whatever. So he goes ahead and attacks for game. Yeah, I surrendered. Stay tuned for the next episode. I know you guys, that was some really bad playing on my part. You know, sometimes it happens in the game. But yes, click the next video. It'll be somewhere. Make sure you guys click and see what happens next.